Most people are shocked to learn that the Bible they grew up with was not translated directly from original Aramaic texts, but rather from Greek versions that were retranslated into English. The Aramaic English New Testament Bible comes directly from Aramaic, the very language spoken by Jesus and his disciples. The Aramaic English New Testament, or AENT, is the most definitive English New Testament in nearly 2,000 years. Let's consider Matthew chapter 26, verse 6. The Aramaic English New Testament identifies Simon as a potter, while previous translations say he was a leper. Let's take a deeper look. Here is the King James Version of Matthew 26, verse 6. Now when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, the New International Version is quite similar and reads, while Jesus was in Bethany, in the home of Simon the leper. The Aramaic English New Testament proclaims thus, and when Yeshua was in Bethania, in the house of the potter Shimon. How is it that both the King James and NIV versions translate Simon to be a leper, while the AENT clarifies that he was in fact a potter and not a leper? Aramaic provides the obvious solution within the text itself. Since Hebrew and Aramaic have no vowels, two words spelled the same but pronounced differently can have two totally different meanings. In this case, the word in question is spelled Gimel Resh Beit Aleph, G-R-B-A. Pronounced as Garba, the word is leper, whereas the Garaba, same letters, means jar maker. Since these two words are also pronounced differently, the mistake would most likely happen when copying from an ancient written document that does not offer modern vowel pointing. But how can we be sure that Simon wasn't a leper? The impossibility of Simon being a leper is evident when one understands that in Yeshua's day, lepers could not own property, jars of perfume, or have servant girls, let alone entertain Jewish guests in their home or anywhere else near Jerusalem for that matter. Read Leviticus 13:45-50 for more details. Responding to the facts, some theologians have suggested that Simon used to be a leper, and maybe he was celebrating his healing in much the same way that Eleazar did in John's Gospel. There are at least three problems with this ad hoc reasoning. Firstly, Matthew doesn't record this, and John does, and it is not fair for one Gospel writer to overthrow another. The second problem illuminates a very important distinction. Torah instructs us that lepers must not be referred to as lepers after they are healed. Read Leviticus 13:1-44 for more details. The third reason is connected with the second. If Simon let people refer to him as the leper after he had been healed, which is against Torah, it would also greatly inhibit his ability to do business in Israel, and he would be well within his legal rights to sue for damages. The Aramaic English New Testament is the most definitive English New Testament translation in nearly 2,000 years. There is simply no other English New Testament Bible that is as authentic and authoritative. Discover the first New Testament, now available in English, the Aramaic English New Testament.